Hello, everyone, and welcome to the One Conscious Love Network. I am here to introduce you to Liz Long. Liz, thank you so much for joining me today. Why don't you tell everyone a little bit about yourself and what it is that you do? How do you shed your light in the world, Liz?
Thanks, Melanie, for having me. I'm excited to be here and a part of this amazing One Conscious Love Network. I'm the author of a book called Navigating Shitstorms, and it hit the bookstores almost 2 years ago. The title is one that seems to resonate with just about everyone. Unfortunately or fortunately, I mean, that is a choice in perspective. Shitstorms are part of the quintessential human journey. And I believe that it's through those shitstorms that we have the opportunity to learn our biggest life lessons,
Mm,
even our soul lessons, if you will.
mm,
I create a fictitious world that I call Victimtown, with places like the Guilt and Shame Cafe and the Denial Trails, the Control Factory, the Resentment Parking Lot, and a few others. And it's in the naming of these places that makes mental health issues and the shitstorms that we're navigating a little less vulnerable to open up dialogues around. And once we can have conversations, then the healing can begin. So that's been part of my book. And I would say that my mission, if you will, and the way I share my love with the world is through my book and my art in the desire to help people learn to love themselves.
mhm,
And I add another caveat to the loving ourselves. I want to help people learn to love themselves without limits or conditions.
mm,
And it's that next level of acceptance and healing for ourselves that I think not I think, I know that we need to do first before we have the resources and the capabilities to share our gift with the world.
mhm,
So I do that through my book, and I do readings and talks for groups, and also through my art. So the opposite place of Victimtown is what I've dubbed Freedomville. And out of that name, Freedomville, came my art, where I create. Oh, I should have brought some samples down here to give you a show. This is one of my creations. This shirt
so nice.
that I've made. So I upcycle flannels and jean jackets, and I also make these love badges that are like visual declarations of our resilience and love. So I share those at the market, and the profits from that line of Freedomville art are all donated to mental health.
Mm, that's beautiful. What led you down this path? Like, what made you Liz Long, the writer and the creator of beautiful art now?
Well, the art was a surprise. Well, and the book was a surprise. And when you read the book, I describe the book as a blend of true crime and memoir, but mostly self-help and humor. I have only 8 childhood memories, and
Mm,
I do write those short stories in as part of my book. My childhood was very traumatic, and it relates to actually one of Canada's longest unsolved murders of a family member
mm,
that went missing in 1968 when I was 6 years old. And for 5 years, the not knowing if she was alive or dead was the shitstorm that was my childhood.
mm,
And my mental health caught up to me about 5 years ago. And I ended up checking myself into a private recovery center for depression. And
Mm,
there I dealt with all the shit that went down in my childhood and my relationship with my mother. I did a lot of healing. And when I came out of there, I was very slow and intentional in how I wanted to show up in this world and what I wanted to do. I had never aspired to be a writer. I didn't go to school for journalism. And
yeah.
um, the book, the book just flowed out of me.
Mm,
And yeah, so that's how the book was born. And then my mission became one of mental health advocacy, and I completely shifted gears into that industry. And I also, after the book was the first draft was done, I packed up my life and I moved across the country from Ontario here to the Sunshine Coast.
It's such a beautiful place. And you can feel the energy there is quite different as well. The people and the nature as well. It's just
Mhm.
so
Yeah,
key for
it
healing
was
and growth.
it was divine guidance for sure, Melanie. I had never been here. I'd never heard of it. And a real estate agent introduced me to it. And
Mm.
I bought my house on the internet and moved here
Wow.
almost 3 years ago now.
Wow, that's beautiful. That's beautiful. What have you found has changed since that journey? The awakening, the period of, oh, I need to change everything. What do you find is the biggest thing that you would say has made it all very good?
Well, for me, it's been a completely revamped life. I mean, I was in a very dark place.
Mm,
And so that healing journey has led me to a place that is that's peaceful and calm, and I'm happy. And it's not like shit doesn't keep happening because shit will always happen. And the biggest thing I think that I've learned is that every time every time shit happens, we have a choice. We have a choice about the story we make up in our head, because we all make up stories about what things mean. We literally can't not. Our brains are hardwired to come up with a meaning. But the meaning we come up with and the story we tell ourselves about whatever has happened is a choice. And that perspective will lead us either to Victimtown or Freedomville.
right.
And so the awareness of of the choice and the practice, because we always get lots of opportunities to practice, has been a fun and more adventurous ex experience than I expected. Not that I thought it would be easy, um, but I didn't think it would be as fun when shit happens.
Interesting. That's beautiful. Yeah. Oh, that's amazing. And so for the readers going through the book, it's kind of an instruction on how to do it as well as understanding of what those components are. Would you say that's a good?
Yeah, it's an easy, relatable read, Melanie. It has three distinct parts. The first part is childhood, and I talk about some bigger concepts by great minds that I have distilled down into very easy to understand and anecdotal language. So we kind of know how we ended up the way we are with the challenges and the triggers and the issues, if you will, because they literally all did start in childhood. And then the middle part of the book is Victimtown, and I talk about all the places in Victimtown and the voice in our head. So we all have two voices in our head, right? We have a shitty voice, a Victimtown voice, and I give a name to that voice in each of the places. Um, and we also have a voice that talks back, and I call that
Mhm.
voice our heart voice. And
Mm,
that's the one that we were all born with. We all have one. And it's the one that makes us feel hopeful and reassured and calm. And it has the power to put all those other, collectively, I call them the town voices, in their place. And then
Mm,
the part three of the book is a lot about my journey and what worked for me for strengthening my heart voice and gaining the resources to deal with whatever life throws at me, whatever shitstorms arrive. It's not a prescribed path, though. It's not a, here's how it goes, because
right.
every single one of us has to find our own path to Freedomville, and they're all a little different. So, my goal is to instill people with the confidence and inspiration to find their own path.
Mm, that's so beautiful. I love that. Yes, that's gorgeous. And as you were writing the book, what was your experience like? I know it can be quite the journey.
Yeah, it was super enjoyable, which was surprising for me because I had heard from so many people that, oh, it's really hard and it's arduous and you're going to get writer's block and blah, blah, blah. And that wasn't my experience. I was fortunate to be living in a remote home on a lake in Northern Ontario. And so I had a beautiful, peaceful environment. And I also, um, it was still COVID, so things were shut
Mm,
down. And I was able to dedicate pretty much full-time hours toward writing. Um, it flowed for me, and I loved the process. I was not without challenges, but they weren't of the writing nature. My challenges were more of a logistical, organizational, technical nature.
right.
As the files started to get really big, and I was sending chapters at a time to get edited and come back, and just the protocols for naming, and literally that just was blowing my mind.
Yes.
It's interesting. What saved me was in the middle of that, like right before I literally was about to throw my laptop into the lake in frustration, I randomly and serendipitously got diagnosed with ADD at
Oh,
58 years old.
wow.
And I think that diagnosis actually probably saved the book because it
Mm,
allowed me to extend some grace to myself and take a
mhm,
giant step backwards and look at my life and how I had managed and accomplished all that I did. And what I became aware of was that I had systems. I had like a robust Excel spreadsheet for everything that mattered in my life.
mm,
And that's how I managed it. But I didn't have a spreadsheet or a plan for writing a book. And
right.
so I stopped writing, and I designed a protocol for naming files, and I set up kind of a map for how I would keep them in my computer. And and once I had all of that kind of structure done, then I was good,
That's so good. Yes. What a perfect timing, really,
right?
to get you to where you're supposed to be, right?
Yeah. As
That's
the universe
beautiful.
works, right?
Yes. And what's your experience like as people are reading the book, enjoying it, coming back to you with feedback? What has that been like?
That is the most humbling and satisfying thing that I have literally ever experienced. And it confirms to me that that this was my purpose. I'll
Mhm.
never forget the first time somebody came up to me and said, "Thank you for writing your book. It made a huge difference and has helped me so much in my life." And
Mm,
if just one person is helped by that, then it was totally worth it. And in my mind, I've done what I was here to do. But I love to continue to share. And yeah, that's the best is when people get in touch either by email or text or in person. And I'm a huge hugger,
mhm.
so that's the best is the big hugs from people that have read Navigating Shitstorms.
That's awesome. So for those that are wanting hugs, they're gonna have to come and see you at the markets coming
Yeah.
up in the
Yes.
season.
Free hugs. I have a big banner. Free hugs.
That's awesome. I love it. I love it. I always ask everyone, how do you choose one conscious love every day? So what does that mean for you?
For me, it means to remind myself regularly that we are all connected. We are
Mhm.
all the same, and we are all in our essence pure love.
Mm. That's such a good reminder, right?
Yeah.
So beautiful. Yeah. Anything else you wanted to share with everyone watching?
Um, be gentle with yourself and love yourself. Yeah, you're awesome.
That's beautiful. We'll definitely put your links in the comments below. So you link to the book and the links to your upcoming markets as well, so people can come and visit in person and get to know you and provide some support for your cause as well. I think it's so beautiful what you're doing and very, very needed in today's world where there's so much suffering. And there's an easier, beautiful way to choose love. And how to do that is through your beautiful town of so that's so well described. And so yes, I love it. And everybody needs to get out of the victim cafe for sure. Well,
Well, once you know something and you recognize where you are, you can't unknow it. So,
mm, totally. That's exactly right. And that's where the growth begins, right? Particularly in the spring now, it's a great time to plant some seeds and let them grow and evolve from there.
yes, exactly.
Mm. Beautiful. It's so lovely to have you, Liz. Thank you, everyone, for watching. And I hope you have a wonderful day.
Thank you.